Everything you have right now is from your past thoughts, embodiment, and inspired action. Today, we're going to get you to that next level. And next month, I'm working on YouTube, but I already created the vision board for next month, and I'll tell you that it's already starting to come true. So I do think that the process of just creating the board, I am no longer telling myself this story anymore. It ends here, right? And then you start telling yourself a new story. You literally decide that you're no longer going to be stuck. Hi, my friend. In this video, I'm going to share how you can confidently step into your worth, bring in an extra $1,000 this month, charge for your services, sell your coaching, and feel really darn good about it, okay? So this is going to be a workshop. This is going to be a master training, and I recommend that you get something to take notes with, a tasty beverage, and we're gonna dive into it. So make sure you stay until the very end, because at the end, I'm gonna go into some practical tips, some really specific things that you can be doing. I'm gonna be answering some questions from my clients, from my mastermind students, on specific things that you can do to reach your goals, whatever those may be. And if you're like, I'm not sure what those are, we're gonna figure those out today, okay? So the first thing that I want you to tap into and to know when it comes to creating your dream life, when it comes to activating your full potential, is it starts internally. And I know that we hear this so often. Our inner world creates our outer world. Maybe you do this work, right? For others, you have others. This is definitely the work that I do, right? As an inner work coach, even though I'm a business coach, I do a lot of inner work with my clients, right? Helping them realign with what they actually desire. And this message is so prevalent in our society. Your inner world creates your outer world. But like, what does that actually mean? So I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it today. So everything first starts internally with what we believe to be true, with what we think, right? And by tapping into that, tapping into what I like to call your knowingness, right? By tapping into that, you then create, you bring into reality, you bring into the physical, from the immaterial to the physical, what you desire: clients, income, impact, right? A new house, right? Whatever it is, a new outfit, whatever it is that you want to create, literally create anything that's in your highest good. And this is the process. It first starts internally. So we are going to start programming ourselves internally. And if you're in my world, if you're a coach, you've probably done this. I don't know any coach who hasn't done any of this work, but just because we've done it once, it doesn't mean that we remember it. It doesn't mean that we don't need a refresher, right? This is as much for me as it is for you. Teaching this helps me embody this at such a deeper level too, right? So I don't want you to feel like, oh, I already know this. Like, I promise there's going to be lots of goodies for you here. So our inner world creates our outer world. So instead of looking outside of ourselves, looking at what's going on in our business, in our bank account, in our house, right, on our bodies, that's looking outside of ourselves. We first need to look within ourselves. We first need to tap into that knowingness. And if you are just starting out, or you're trying to start something new, there's something deep within you that is pulling you forward towards it. There's part of you that knows you can do this. There's part of you that's like, hey, come on. I call it your higher self, right? It's like, hey, coaching would be a good option for you. Hey, you'd be really good at this. Hey, you'd like this so much more than what you're currently doing, right? There's that part of you. That's your knowingness. That's your higher self. That's your connection to your soul that knows what you're meant for in this world, right? But then what happens is we look at the outside world, we try it a little bit, it's hard, it's scary, right? And we're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And so during your activation, during your journey to getting from where you are to where you want to go, you have to stay connected to that knowingness. You have to remind yourself, hey, this is possible. Hey, I'm doing it, right? You have to believe it before you can see it. You have to believe it within before you can see it. I know for me, all of us, when we first start businesses, we don't have any proof that it will work. Sometimes we can look to others, which I love. I always say that that's an expander. Somebody who's doing what you want to be doing. That's proof that you can do it too. It's not something to be jealous of or feel like, oh, there's no room for me. She's already doing it, which is very important for me because I am one who likes to be original. And it's really easy to look at what everybody else is doing in the world and be like, where can I be original? It's all already been done before. But the way in which I do it, the way in which you do it is going to be original because you are original. You are connected to me, to everybody else. But the way you think about things, the way you see things, that is original. And that is why I always teach my clients to tap into their authenticity, to tap into their stories, right? Because that is something that nobody else has. It's so special and so unique and it's so necessary and needed. That's why you're here on this planet with us, right? And I always feel so much better. I'll have clients who say that they look at what other people are doing and they're like out there and they're like comparing their prices and things like that. And I'll do a whole nother video on how you actually should price your programs, something you haven't heard before unless you've worked with me one-on-one. But I see so many coaches talk about that and say that over the years. But the problem for me with that is I just don't feel great. When I'm consuming a lot of like what other people are doing, it just feels out of balance for me. I just feel like I'm just taking on all of this energy. And if you're an empath, you probably know what I mean. And so I need to be very deliberate, right? And so I don't do a lot of consuming of other people's stuff. I consume my clients' stuff because I want to give them feedback and I want to support them, but I'm very intentional with when I'm consuming. I'm not consuming other people's stuff when like I'm not feeling great about myself or like I'm feeling confused about myself or I need more clarity within my own self and my soul and my business, right? Like I'm not going out in the world, seeing what other people are doing. And so expanders can be helpful when we're doing something we've never done before to just be like, okay, she's doing it. That's kind of what I want to do. Cool. It's possible. That gives me that insight, that knowingness. But then like once you do it, it's really important that you celebrate that and you think about that. I do it all the time. Like I think about things where I knew it was possible, right? It's like I had the knowingness, but part of me was like, can you really pull this off, Sarah? And then I do. And then I have that within myself that I can pull from, right? It's like in the archives, I can pull from it. And so you have moments from your life, from your business where you did something that you'd never done before. And you were like, I don't really know if I can do it, but like, I know I can do it, right? So remind yourself of that. That is really important to stay in that space. I have so many moments in my life where I kind of just declare something, but I'm not 100% sure that I can do it. Like that is the energy of knowingness. So whatever it is that you really want to bring to life this year in your business, I want you to tap into that knowingness. I want you to declare it. I want you to own it. So many people are afraid of owning things and declaring them because they're afraid if I speak this, if I say this, if I act as if and it doesn't come true, I'm going to be devastated. But they're putting so much focus and pressure on it not coming true that guess what happens? It doesn't come true. And it's not because you put it out there or you didn't put it out there. It's because you weren't fully behind it, right? You weren't fully supported. I'm going to share how you can make sure that you always hit your goals in this video too. So stay tuned. We are going to get to that. So the first step is knowingness. When I first started coaching, I knew it would work. I just knew that this is what I was supposed to be doing. And it's over 10 years later. And I'm like, yeah, there's nothing else I would rather be doing. Like, I love doing this. But were there moments of doubt? 100%. 100% there were moments of doubt, especially at the beginning when I didn't have any physical proof yet. But then I went on, I kept doing it, and I got that proof. So I remember I had a point in my health coaching business where I was like, my prices are too low. I need to raise my prices. You feel like that? Some of you, yes, I'm going to talk about it. And some of you definitely are undercharging, right? And if you're new to me, I'm not all about making the most amount of money possible. I think that there is an excess, unless you have this big vision of like rebuilding a population or, donation, or if you have like a real mission. But I think that our society has gotten a little too ego crazy with like the money and the things and the materialism. I definitely don't think that's needed. Also, I'm not saying that I don't think money is important. We live in a society that we exchange value through money. So I definitely think that money has a place, but I definitely think, especially in the coaching industry, there's a lot of excess happening. I don't believe in that, but I do believe that when you exchange money for your coaching, your clients will show up. They will be present. They will be invested, right? They will do the work that they signed up to do. I've definitely seen this myself and in my clients. When my clients charge next to nothing or free, people don't take it as seriously. They miss calls. When they have a few thousand invested, they show up to the calls. They're invested. They get results. And at the end of the day, as a coach, we want our clients to get results. It's not very much fun to have somebody sign up for something and then to have them not do the work. It's not great. You would think like, oh, I got the money. Yay. It doesn't feel good. Because as a coach, if you're here, if you follow me, you want to make an impact. You want to make a difference. You want people to actually get results with the work that you do. And so having that equal energy exchange, having them invested is really important. It also is good for you to be good at receiving, because that is a lesson that you need to learn living as a human on this earth, right? As a soul, you need to learn how to receive. You need to learn how to give, and you need to learn how to receive. Giving and receiving. Some people are really good at giving, not so great at receiving. Some people are good at receiving, but not so good at giving. Got to figure it out. So I was like, I feel like my prices are too low. I've been doing this for a long time. And that's kind of how I know I need to raise my prices. If like my programs are selling out and I feel like I've been doing this a long time, or I feel like I have to work like a lot and I can't really be present with my clients like I want to be because I have more clients. And that was the case then. I had too many clients and it was too big of a workload. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to raise my prices to $5,000 because I hadn't raised them in a long time. And I remember Peter being like, is anybody going to pay for that? And I was just like, yeah, they are. They're going to pay for that. And that week, somebody signed up. I think 2 people signed up that week for the program. And since then, now Peter reminds me, anytime that I have doubt, he reminds me of that. He reminds me of these times where I just knew and it happened, right? And so that is what I want you to do. Stay connected to that knowingness, that part inside of you that knows that it's going to work out, that you are meant for this, that knows like, hey, I have this goal for a reason because it's meant to be. It already exists. I'm just not experiencing it right now. It already exists. Everything exists within me. Abundance, clients, success, right? Whatever you desire, it already exists within you. You're just not experiencing it. So allow yourself to experience it. Allow yourself to know it. Allow yourself to believe it. Allow yourself to think it, and it will come true. I want you to act as if you're already the person you want to become, right? Act as that person now. Act like you're a fully booked coach. Act like you are making whatever that income number, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. Like, how would you show up on camera if you were fully booked? How would you create content if you knew 1 million people followed you? Some people that kind of freaks out. They're like, ooh, that'd be scarier. For me, I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go, I'm drinking some lemon tea with goji berries. It's so good. The goji berries get soft and then you get a little snack too. Maybe not great for doing a recording, but what are you going to do? So this is the first thing that I want you to check in with right now. This year, have you been acting like the person that you want to become? If you want to leave your job to be a full-time coach, have you been acting like that? Have you been showing up like that? Have you been believing that? If you're somebody who wants to step into her purpose, have you been acting like that? Have you been acting like somebody who lives their purpose, who shows up that way? Have your thoughts been in alignment with that? Or have you been looking at your current reality and saying, this is just the way it is. It's not going very well. It's not working for me, right? No judgment. It's just like, cool. I haven't been acting like that. That's why. This looks like this. Let me shift how I'm acting, how I'm showing up, and then my reality will show up, right? So again, what you're thinking right now is not a reflection of your past, unless you've been thinking that way, which a lot of people have, right? But what you're thinking right now, what you choose to start believing and thinking after you watch this whole entire video, that is what is going to be created in your reality tomorrow and the next day and the next day, right? Pretty cool. It's pretty freaking cool. So I want you to start focusing inward, what you're thinking, what you're believing, how you're acting in alignment with what you want to bring into this world. I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to believe in your dreams. I want you to imagine that you're living the life that you want to live, and then act as if, and then take the inspired action. I don't want you to take the inspired action from where you're at right now, because you're just going to create more of where you're at right now. I want you to fully immerse yourself. And this is why visualization is really powerful. I know not everybody is great at visualizing, so you can journal, you can think about it, right? Like you can use whatever tools you have that work for you. One of my clients is really good at visualizing. I did a higher self-coaching session with her, and I was like, damn, like you just went there, you tapped in instantly. That is a powerful tool. If any of you guys are really good at visualizing and you're just like, yeah, it comes easily to me, that is so powerful, because that means that you are easily connected to your soul, that you can tap in instantly, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to manifest and bring things from the immaterial, I don't know why that word is hard for me, into the physical. And it's a really cool skill to have. So good on ya. I feel like I'm in the middle. I'm average there. So now I want to talk about goals. So I have had an interesting relationship with goals. I used to be a very avid goal setter for, I would say, most of my life. And then after my spiritual awakening, I was like, goals? How's my mind going to think of goals? My soul knows what's up. I'm just going to follow my soul, and it's going to know. And wherever I end up, I'm going to end up, and I'm going to be free as a bird. And I still kind of feel that way. But I do like to focus on what I intend. And so that's why oftentimes that's why I think it is kind of powerful, because it's like, instead, how I used to do it before was I was like, this is the goal. I want this by this date. I actually went to like a goal training, like how to achieve your life goals, right? And it was like, put the date down that you want to achieve it by, right? Post it up somewhere where you can see it, like really firm, masculine mind, manifesting with the mind, right? Where now I'm more so manifesting with the heart, more in the feminine, more in balance. So where am I going with this? Well, now I think that it is actually more powerful to be in this position, which I'm kind of teaching you from today, where it's, yes, I have this intention and this goal, but I'm not attached to it, because I know my soul is actually in charge, and it will either give me that or something better. It is looking out for my best interests. So I'm just kind of like helping it align. It's like, hey, this is what I desire, but I trust you, and I trust that I'm going to be taken care of no matter what. And so if I don't get this, then I know something better is on its way for me, right? And that is the detachment that so many people have such a hard time with. They're like attached, like, I need to have this, otherwise I'm not going to be happy, I'm not going to be successful, I'm not going to be da-da-da-da. But it's like, actually, I don't really feel that way, because I really believe that I am taken care of, and you are taken care of, and we are here for a reason. And so now I do like to set goals, but then I can just like release them. I can set them, and I'm talking about how to set them, what to do with them. And this approach is just like easy breezy, not to attach, but they do come true, which is pretty freaking amazing. So all that to say, this is what I want you to do. Are you ready? I want you to write down 10 goals for yourself for the next year, and you can decide how you want to structure them. Business, personal, money, fun, whatever comes to mind. You don't need like 2 business, 2 personal. You can do it however you want, right? Maybe you have all business, all personal, but I want you to set 10. If you're like, I only have 2 goals, Sarah, I want you to stretch yourself. Just see what comes up. So what else do I want? What am I missing? What sounds like fun, right? It's going to be anything, any goals that you have, any intentions for your year ahead. And I want you to write them down, and I want you to write next to them. I want you to write why this is important to you. And I want you to write down what this will mean for you when you achieve this goal. And there's a lot of caveats to this, right? We're really getting into it. I also want you to write down goals that stretch you. Okay, I learned this early on, where if I set a goal for myself, right? And it is, like Maybe it's like an income goal and I'm like, I probably could do that. That's probably doable, right? Sometimes I fall a little short. But if you set a goal that's a little bit higher and you fall short, it's called a stretch goal. You're still going to hit your actual goal. It's like a little trick. So I want you to set goals that stretch you a little bit. If you're like, I don't want to, you don't have to, but I want you to push yourself a little bit, to think a little bit outside of the box, right? Because we're dreaming here. If we literally are these powerful humans, spiritual beings that can create anything in the world, like, let's have some fun with it. So 10 goals, why it's important to you, how it's going to feel, and I want you to write it in present tense. So if your goal is to be fully booked with clients you love, I'm fully booked with clients I love. Why this is important, what this means to me. I'm making $1 million with my business, right? Present tense. And again, I want you to write down goals that are going to stretch you a little bit. So now I want you to pause me, but come back because I'm going to tell you what to do with the video or what to do with the goals. I want you to pause me for a second and write these down. Okay, how was that? Are we feeling good? Are we excited? I'm excited. If you want to share your goals, I would love to hear them. You can put them below. If you want to just share one, you can put one. You can DM me. Like, I love getting excited about your goals, and that sharing your goals, it does give it more energy. When more people read your goals, they see your goals, right? That support you, that want the best for you. It does give your goals like more energy and life force, right? So you have your goals. Now we're going to embody them, right? Because it's really easy to then be like, okay, what do I need to do physically outside of myself to achieve these? No, I want you to start internally. Who do I need to become in order to manifest this? What do I need to think about? And it's not like this obsessive. I feel like with goals, this is why I kind of sometimes like, it can be kind of obsessive, but it's just more like I need to think that everything is possible for me. I need to think like I am supported. I need to think like the universe has my back, right? That's more so what I mean. I need to think like people want me to show up. They want me to share my message. That is the energy that I'm talking about. Not like, I don't know, just like robotic, you know what I mean, right? It's not like this obsessive robotic, like, oh, I can't say this, I can't say that. No, it's more so just like in your beingness. Like, how are you being in everyday moments? Like, are you being shy? Are you being timid? Are you being like, nobody wants to hear from me? It doesn't really matter. It's not working. Look at it. I'm da-da-da-da. Or is it like, yeah, today is going to be a great day. The universe is here to support me. I'm going to make my dreams come true, right? So now, I am a big fan of a vision board. This is how I do a vision board. You can do it however you want. Instead of doing a vision board for my whole year ahead, I like to create themed vision boards. And I like to do them on Pinterest, and I like to do them on my phone so I can have them on my phone background. And I will show you some on the screen. I created one for our house, which looks very similar to the house that we have now. This month right now, I am doing fashion style. I'm working on my style game because we've been moving a lot, and it just seems like all of my clothes end up in different storages and are for different areas that we've lived in. So I'm working on my current Mexico style game. And next month I'm working on YouTube, but I already created the vision board for next month, and I'll tell you that it's already starting to come true. So I do think that the process of just creating the board, even if you're not looking at it, it's just puts it in motion. It's just like, okay, this is what she wants. Let's start bringing it to her. It's amazing. So I like to do themes. So for your goals, you can do one that's just like for everything. But if you have like business stuff, then you could create one just for business. And then if you have personal, you can create one for personal. If you have one for health, you can create one for health. I just think it's easier for my internal world to get behind it if it's just focused on one specific thing. But again, you can do it however you want. You don't have to do it like this. If you want to see how I make these cute Pinterest boards, just comment below. Let me know that you want a vision board tutorial and I'll do that. But I use Pinterest and I use the collage feature, and I just like have fun with it. They make it very easy, and I do it on my phone. I build it on my phone and I use it on my phone. It's my home screen on my phone, like my wallpaper. So that way I look at it every day when I pick up my phone, which is really powerful. So create a vision board for your goals. That is your action item for after this video, okay? And I want to see them. Send me an Instagram message with your board. The next thing that we need to talk about is inspired action. When it comes to our goals, we have to embody the person who has these things now and hold the vibe. Of course, that's what I've been talking about this whole video. We got to hold the vibe. We got to become the person. We have to tap into our knowingness. We have to act and speak that way. But we also need to take inspired action. And I think that a lot of people are afraid to take action. They don't trust the actions because it doesn't make logical sense to them. It's not going to make logical sense, right? Logical things a lot of times happen in the mind. The mind is a great tool, but it is all about the past. So if you want to do something you've never done before, it's probably not going to make logical sense. Your mind is going to have a hard time with it. It's going to be uncomfortable for it. Your mind likes certainty. It likes to plan, right? Don't have your mind be planning like new things. Don't have your mind be working when you're manifesting, when you're embodying new things. You know what I'm saying? Like that, for that, we want to tap into our heart for that. And so a lot of times people are afraid to take actions because they don't want to take the wrong actions. If you are being inspired to do something, if it is feeling fun, I talked about this in my video on how to become a confident coach, you have to start following your excitement. That is how your higher self speaks to you, is through excitement, through joy, through fun. And so the things that feel joyful and exciting and fun, those are the things that you have to follow. That is the inspired action. If you feel inspired to call someone, to create a program, to do something, like follow through on it, because you never know where it's going to lead, okay? So it's really important that you are also taking these actions, right? So that is something I want you to really practice this week, is what do you feel most excited about? And are you honoring that? Or are you writing it off? The more you write off your excitement and what actually sounds fun, the less of that you're going to get. You can ask for more of that. I do that all the time. I'm like, I need some ideas, please. Guides, higher self. Like, I'm not sure, or I need a sign. Can you please give me a sign for my next move, right? And then the ideas and signs, it would be too much. And I'll say, okay, I have enough ideas. Can you just let me implement these? And then when I'm done, I'll let you know when I'm ready for more ideas, right? You just got to ask for what you desire. What is that book called? Ask and it is given. So true. It's so simple, but we overthink it. Oh, it can't be that easy. Oh, I never get what I want. It's like, wait, you just said you never get what you want? Guess what? You're never going to get what you want. You literally just asked to never get what you want, right? It's like, oh my gosh, so simple, right? But we just get so caught up in what we've been doing. And there's a lot of other forces at play that kind of want to keep us small, that want us to forget our power. If you are watching this video, you are a powerful being. It means that you're here to make an impact in the world, to help people remember their power, to help people heal. And there are a lot of people who don't want that, right? So if you ever feel like business is hard, like, man, it just feels like no matter what I do, I just like can't break free, it's because people want you to stay small, right? And so you have to remember, oh yeah, I cannot let anybody affect me unless I allow them to. I've been allowing them to. I've been buying into this fact that I'm small, but actually I'm really powerful and I can create whatever reality I want. I was just talking to a client today and she's like, I know you always say like anything is possible. It's my business. And like, she's really getting it now. And I'm like, hallelujah. Like, I am so excited because I see her showing up more. I see her posting more. I see her giving herself permission to fully be herself in her business. And guess what happens when she does that? Is she signs more clients, because clients can actually see the real her rather than a watered down version that doesn't believe that she's good enough or capable or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So we got to tap into that. We got to tap into that joy, that excitement, that trust, that remembrance that we are powerful and can create whatever we desire. Yeah. So that is inspired action, right? Now, next thing that we need to talk about, okay? Am I talking to you? Possibly. Energy. Businesses require energy. Life requires energy. You have this physical body that needs to be taken care of. So while you're building your business, your dream life, you have to take care of the vessel. And I see a lot of women giving. I'll do this for free. I'll do this for free. I'll do this. I'll help you with this. Okay, I'll take my kids here. Okay, I'll do this for my kids. I'll do this for my kids. And then they're like, Sarah, I want my business too. They're like falling asleep. I'm like, girl, you have no energy, right? Like, how is the universe going to send you clients and people to help? You got to help yourself. You got to help yourself. So, and I do this too. This was me for a long time in my business. I was so focused on being helpful. That was like, it's like I had a shirt. It's like, I am helpful. I'm so helpful, right? And so I was helping everybody else except myself. I said I would do something, I'm doing it no matter what. I'm the person that they can count on, right? And you'll keep burning out unless you work on yourself, right? You'll keep getting to that point of burnout unless you change how you operate, how you see the world. I had to untie my worth to my work. I had to untie my worth to my productivity. As soon as I was able to do that, I was like, oh, I'm good. Like, no, I cannot do that. Sorry. Like, I got to go for a walk. That cannot come out today because I got to nourish this body. I'm feeling a little tired. We need to reschedule because you want me at my best. I want me at my best. Everybody thrives when I'm at my best. And the same is true for you. So I want you to make sure that you are not giving all of your energy away. I want you to save a big chunk of energy for yourself. You deserve it. This is your life. You can create whatever you want. So why not create some space for you to have some energy? And you will have to, if you are one who is usually on empty or close to empty, you will have to shift how you operate. And if you message me, if you are like, yeah, I need to shift how I'm operating, I know this. If you message me, we can talk about doing a higher self coaching session because that is the fastest way to figure out what you need to shift and how to do it. Because your higher self knows exactly what needs to happen. So energy is really important. If you want to activate your potential, if you want to reach your goals, you need to make sure that you are saving some energy for yourself. I'm not talking about energy for you to like go out and do all these things. I'm talking about energy so that you have a clear channel, a clear vessel so you can hold space for others. It makes sense, right? It's like the universe is not going to give you more work and more things if like you are depleted, if you have no space for them, right? Because they're going to come and then they're going to go. It's not going to work out. You're going to burn out. It's not in your highest good right now. Your highest good is always to make sure you have some energy for yourself. So make sure that you are doing things that take care of yourself and nourish yourself. Okay. Now I want to get into some specific questions from my clients and coaches in my mastermind. And I think that this will be very helpful because it's going to be very, very practical. So if you're like, I need practical stuff, this is going to be for you. So the first one is from Jean. Hi, Jean. I love you. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing in this world. Everybody here, thank you for doing the work that you're doing in this world. It's so needed. It's so necessary. There are so many people who are looking for coaches just like you, right? And I think that sometimes we think that they're not, or, oh, there's already coaches doing that. But there are so many people who are not living in their authenticity, who are just getting kind of caught in everything going on. They're getting all caught up. They've totally forgotten their power. They're struggling with their health, their relationships, right? And then there's you who is here and can help them. So it's so important that you are here today and that you remember your power and that literally there are thousands, probably millions of people that you can help, right? So I just want to remind you that and thank you for doing this work. So Jean wants to create a program and hit $1,000 a month. So, Jean, for you and anybody watching who resonates with this and is like, I would love to bring in $1,000 a month or $1,000 more a month with my coaching. For Jean, I know money mindset. Money mindset is really important. There are so many people who would pay you 10 times as much as what you're paying, or as much as what you're charging for your coaching right now. They would pay you 10 times that amount, but you have to believe it. You have to tap into that. And I know that you do a lot of low ticket offerings, and I think that low ticket offerings are great. They meet people who don't have the funds right now available for high ticket, or they just want to do a little dibble dabble, right? It's their entryway. I think that's totally fine. However, there are a lot of people who want to invest in high ticket. There are a lot of people who are struggling with their, Jean does like energy work and helps empaths and things like that of that nature. And so there are a lot of people who want to learn how to read energy, to clear their energy, to tap into their intuitive gifts, but they do not want to pay $50. They do not want to pay $10. They want to pay a few $1,000s. They want to work with an expert. They want to work with somebody who knows this, right? You know this. You have lived this. You have a lot to share. And so it's really important that you have something for those people. And so I would say for you, I want you to tap into, what does it feel like to be paid $2,000, right? We have a little stretch goal. What does it feel like to be paid by $2,000 by every single client? What would that feel like? Tap into that right now. And if you're already making that, if you're watching this, you're already making that, tap into a higher amount than you're making right now. What does that feel like? What would that be like? That's what I want you to do, Jean. I want you to tap into that energy. Hold the energy of, my clients pay me $2,000 to work with me, to do this work. Now, I want to address this really quick. Some coaches think, I wouldn't pay $2,000 for an energy program, so who else would? Well, you wouldn't pay it because you already know it. It's not of value to you. And this is why, like, pricing for programs it's just so important that you are in a good mental place and you get good advice on this, because a lot of times people have a lack money mindset and they're comparing prices or they're teaching on this. And if you don't believe there's any value in the work that you do, you're probably going to undercharge. And other people are probably not going to see the value in it. But people value different things. And so for you, Jean, you might be like, oh, I would never pay $2,000 for an energy program, but you would pay $2,000 for a business program, right? Because you're still learning business where you already know energy. So it's really important that you guys are investing in yourselves and in your business, like not just to say that you're investing, but like when you actually need something, if you're like, I really need that, and then you don't invest, your clients will reflect that back to you. There's a lot of people who are like, I want to run a business, but I had somebody, I don't know, what is time? I'm always like, a few weeks ago. Was that a month? Was that a year? I don't know. But I remember having this girl who was just like, I really need to grow my business. I forget what she said exactly, honestly, but it was something along the lines of, I really want to grow my business, but I don't want people who like don't pay for my coaching, like only want free stuff, but like I cannot invest any money in my business. Like literally, you guys, she literally said that. And I read it to Peter and we both just kind of laughed and not like laughing at her, but it's just that's never going to work, right? There's a disconnect there. If you are only willing to invest in free, your clients are only going to be willing to invest in free. Now, it doesn't mean that you just go out and like buy whatever and you're like, okay, now my clients are. It's like, no, when you actually need something, like, do you invest in it? Like when it's in your best good? If so, then that's going to come back for your clients. You don't need to be like, I wouldn't pay $2,000 for an energy program, so I can't charge that. No, that's not that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I would say for you, number one, money mindset. Work on your money mindset, right? Play with that. Play with, okay, what would it feel like for clients to sign up for a $2,000 package? How would I show up if I knew that I was getting paid $2,000 for every client that I worked with, right? And then I want you to start acting as if you already hit $1,000 a month in your coaching business. I want you to write, I am making $1,000 a month in my coaching business. I did this when I first started health coaching. The first one I wrote was, I'm making $1,000 a month with my health coaching. I kept that up until I hit it. Then I think I went to 3,000, then 5,000, then 7,000, then 10,000, then 20,000. Like I just kept doing it. I actually don't do it anymore. But if I feel called to it again, I would do it again. So I am affirmations. You guys probably know about this. Everything that comes after I am has to manifest, has to come true. Powerful words. So be aware of when you say that. Like if you're saying, I am broke or I am tired, like you are manifesting that, you are calling that in. So I am making $1,000 a month with my coaching business. This is for Jean. And then the next thing that I would do is I would literally create a program. I'd probably do like $900. I'd do a $900 program and I would focus on selling 2 spots. 2 spots at $900. I would create a simple sales page for that program that is tailored towards what your ideal client really wants. Like, what is it that they are craving? What are they really struggling with? Like, and I would focus on one thing. I think a lot of times with coaches, they want to focus on like all the things, and there can be like side benefits, but it's one focus. This is one thing that we're really going to tap in and work on. I would also make sure that you are focusing on the desires of the program, right? Rather than the features. So desires would be, I want to read energy. I want to be able to read energy and protect myself from energy vampires. That's a desire, right? Features would be 4 one-on-one calls with me. The features don't matter as much. Yes, people want to know like, okay, what is this exactly? What are the tangible? But more than anything, they want to know, is this going to help me get what I want to get? Is this going to solve a problem for me? Is this going to help make my life better, easier, right? So I just focus on that. I have a sales page template. Use the sales page template for that. If you need it, let me know. I would do a ladder post to promote this. I would do different promo for it. I would do a lot of posts around your story, pieces of your story. Stories are things people remember, you guys. Stories are your transformation, how you went from A to B, how you changed your way of thinking, your way of being, how you got something that they want, right? I would use specific stories, posts around stories, different lengths, and I would also personally invite people to join that you've worked with before, that follow your posts, that come to your lives. So that would be my advice for you. I would write out 2 people signed up for whatever the name of the program is. I would write out, I am making $1,000 per month with my coaching business. And the last thing that I would say for you, and I told you this in the group as a little teaser, is I would do less and embody more. Do less and embody more. You're doing a lot right now. You are doing lives. You are always on. You are working. You are being a mom. You are doing all of the things, right? Go, 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 go. I would say do less, but embody more. Believe it more. Step into that money mindset. Yeah? Okay. So then we have a question from Danielle. And she is still facing some self-doubt around being a coach. So I think there's still some self-doubt that I'm good enough to coach and to charge people for a program. For Danielle and for anybody else who resonates with this, I think it's really important that you put out a program and you charge for it, because otherwise you wouldn't have invested in coaching with me. That you wouldn't have invested in becoming a health coach. That you like this, that you're good at this, that you want to do that there's potential here for you. And so deep down, you have that knowingness, but you don't have the physical proof yet. And I know that you actually working with a client who's paying you will give you that physical proof. Okay. You post a lot of really great content that people find value in already. So now it's just about putting out an actual program. And I think that you could do a small ticket program just to kind of prove to yourself like, people will charge for this. I think that's really smart now that you have a new niche, new focus. I think that makes a lot of sense. So I would focus on something that is driving your people crazy, that they just like, oh my gosh, I really want to figure this out. I really want to solve this. This is making me crazy. And I would just do a really great no-brainer offer around that. And we can brainstorm it. You can reach out to me. And I would personally invite people who are interested in your last niche and who, you think would benefit, who have been commenting on your posts, I personally invite them to take advantage of this amazing deal. And I would really play it up, okay? I think that a lot of you guys are like me. We're just like cool as cucumbers. We're just like playing it cool, we're just like, take it or leave it, it's fine. Like I do this work, but like the work that we do is really good. It's really powerful. It's life-changing. It's things that most people are not doing in one lifetime. We are doing huge transformations, just like changing our whole entire being, like believing in ourselves, healing, like all of these cool things. So do not undervalue it. Do not understate it. I really want you, I would say for you, Danielle, I would say create that awesome offer and then own it. Talk about how good it is. Really get behind it. Like do not play small or hide or just be like, oh, it's okay. Like really own how awesome it is and how powerful it's going to be. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, but like I'm nervous. Like, what if it isn't good enough? What if I am not good enough? Right? I had a client a while ago in my mastermind, and she felt the same way. This is so normal. It's so normal. The only way, I promise you, this is the only way that you're going to start feeling good enough is if you actually get experience doing it. It's the only thing that works is like you actually doing it. The embodiment, the knowingness, like the mindset and stepping into it, really important, right? Being supported, being in the right circles, being around the right people, right? Trusting like your excitement, all of that, huge. But like you gotta actually get some experience here. So I had this woman in my mastermind a few years ago, and she was so nervous for her first client call. And like I was too for my first client call. I remember like writing down like every little thing that they might ask, like just notes and notes and notes that I didn't even use, but you don't know. And so she was like really worried about her first client session and just like, what if they ask me something that I don't know? Like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. And it was so funny because I was like, okay, here's what you're going to do. If they ask you something that you don't know, this is what you're going to say. You're going to say, that's a great question. I'm not sure, but I will look into it and I will get back to you. It's like, what a concept. Admitting that we don't know everything, that we are learning too. In order to be a great coach, you don't have to know everything. You need to be supportive. You need to support your client. You need to hold space for them. You need to help them have their own aha moments. You need to guide them. But you don't need to tell them what to do. You don't need to tell them every single thing, right? Like that is not what coaching is all about. And so she's like, okay, I think I can do that. I was like, I know you can do that. And I remember after the session, I don't know if she told me or she told her mastermind, but she was like, you guys would not believe it. My first coaching client, I was so nervous. I was so worried. And he wanted to know how to make tea because he had been drinking coffee and he knows coffee isn't good for him and he wants to get on tea, but he's never made tea before. She's like, I literally was helping someone boil water. What was I so afraid of? Like, of course I can coach. And that is so true. Once you start working with clients, you realize like all of it was just a story. So I want you to be aware of the story that you've been telling yourself about getting paid to be a coach, working with people, and rewrite it, write a new story. What do you want that story to be? Coaching comes very naturally to me. Coaching is very easy for me. I'm a great coach, whatever that is. Okay. So that is your work, Danielle. Okay. Jessica wants to know, how can I get out of my own way and be consistent? Okay, Jess, we see you, or we don't see you, but we're going to see you. So Jess, for you and anybody else who's like, I could have written this, decide that you're going to shift right now. Decide that you're going to get out of your own way right now. It takes conscious effort, right? It takes conscious effort. You have to be aware of, okay, I have been in my own way and I am going to stop doing this. I literally did a video on this, the video on my YouTube that says self-sabotage. Watch that. If you haven't watched that, watch that. And I was dealing with this when I was experiencing Bell's palsy like a year and a half ago. I just kept telling myself the story of not being good enough. Just like, I'm not good enough. I can't show up now. I don't look great. Like, who's going to want to work with me? Like the story, right? And I implemented the Fresh Start method, which I teach in my self-confidence mini course. And part of it is just deciding that you're not going to do that and replacing that story loop with something else, right? And so this can be something that you do, Jess, is instead of every time that, like, first, whatever the story is, right? So if you are in your own way, if you're watching this, you're in your own way, start noticing when that comes up. Like, what is that story that's playing that is keeping you from being consistent, from doing what you want to do? What is it? For me, it's like, I'm not good enough. I don't look as good anymore. Nobody's going to want to work with me now, right? Whatever that story is, get it. Okay, there it is. And then decide, I'm no longer going to tell myself that story. This is the story that I'm telling myself moving forward. For me, it was, my value doesn't change based on how I look. People don't sign up to work with me because I look a certain way. They sign up to work with me for the value that I provide, for my energy, for my knowingness, for my beingness, right? Start telling myself that story. And then you might need to do something when that happens to shift your energy, to change the vibe. And so it might be gratitude. Gratitude is so good. I love gratitude. Thank you. So grateful for being here with you right now, for you sitting here and watching this with me. What gratitude might be, it could be going for a walk, it could be working out, it could be taking a shower, but shift your energy. It's really important that you shift out of your current state, right, of this story. And eventually, you'll break that pattern, you'll break that cycle, but you have to decide, I am no longer telling myself this story anymore. It ends here, right? And then you start telling yourself a new story. You literally decide that you're no longer going to be stuck. And then with consistency, so I have this practice where every day I write my message every day. And that could be like a post, right? Every day I write my message. And so it's like, what do I feel like my people need to hear today? Very consistent with it. And I started doing it a long time ago because I realized that my words and my message and my mission, it does translate to business growth. It doesn't have to be a sales post, but just my community hearing my thoughts, my words, my reminders, it helps them connect with me, connect to my programs, connect to my work in the world. Now, I'm not saying that you need to do that, but I think if you want to get more consistent with your business, you want to be more visible, then having some kind of daily practice could be really good. And I think for you, I know you do like a lot of art, like you're very artistic. I consider you artistic. And so one thing that could be really cool is posting like things that you find artistic and tying it into a business message, your work, how people can work with you, what you're offering every day, and just stick to it for 30 days. Like challenge yourself. Every day I'm going to share one thing. And you guys, everybody watching this, you guys can do this. I know you guys can do this. You guys have so much wisdom and experience and value and all of this, but you just get in your head and the story and you're overthinking it and you think it doesn't matter, you think it's going to be too hard or you don't have time. That's another thing with this, like building a coaching business, you gotta make dedicated time and space. Doesn't mean that every single day you need to do it, but you could, batch it out where one day you spend, a few hours and then you're posting those posts afterwards. I like an everyday. I like to feel connected. I want to feel connected to you. I want to feel connected to my work. You got to figure out what works for you. But I would definitely say if you want to start being consistent, commit to showing up for 30 days. It will totally change your perspective on content, on value, right? Just get out of your head. So that is what I would recommend for you. Challenge yourself to show up every single day and commit right now to telling yourself a different story, right? No longer telling yourself a story of being stuck. Tell yourself a story of, I am on the right path. Everything is working out for me, right? And do the goals, do the vision board. All of this will help. Okay, that is where I'm going to end this today, my friend. And I cannot wait to see your vision board. I cannot wait to see all of the success that you have with this once you implement it. And remember, we start with this work internally, right? What we're creating, we embody it, and then we take inspired action. So if your ritual has been to look outside of yourself, okay, what should I do? What's going on? I want you to first start checking within yourself. Am I embodying the life that I want to live? Am I acting as if I already have everything that I need? Because we do have everything that we need. We do have everything we need, and we can experience all of these goals, all of these growth opportunities that we want. But first, we have to embody it. We have to feel it. We have to believe it. We have to be telling ourselves a story that it's possible. And then, okay, what do I feel excited about today? What inspired action can I take? Show me how good it can get. Here we go. Remember, it doesn't matter what you're currently seeing. What matters is what you're creating. All right, until next time. Bye, friend.